In the quiet town of Maplewood, life moved at an unhurried pace. It was the kind of place where people left their doors unlocked, neighbors greeted each other by name, and gossip spread faster than the evening news. At the center of this close-knit community was Emily Carter, a 29-year-old nurse whose warm smile and gentle nature made her a familiar face to everyone. Emily had worked at the Maplewood Community Clinic for nearly 6 years. Patients loved her not just for her skill, but for the way she truly listened. She'd sit at the bedside of the elderly, volunteer on weekends at the church food drive, and still find time to check in on neighbors after long shifts. Friends described her as the type of person who lit up a room, and the one you could always call when you needed help. For Maplewood, Emily wasn't just another resident. She was a pillar of kindness, someone who represented the best of their town. That's why when she suddenly disappeared, the town's sense of safety shattered overnight. It was a Monday morning when alarm bells first rang. Emily had been scheduled to cover an early shift at the clinic, but she never showed. At first, coworkers assumed she was running late, but calls to her phone went unanswered, and text messages delivered but remained unread. Her family rushed to her small rental house on Elm Street. Her car was still in the driveway. Inside, nothing appeared out of place. Her handbag sat on the kitchen table, and her phone charger was still plugged into the wall. But Emily herself was gone. Panic spread quickly. Maplewood was not the kind of town where people simply vanished. Within hours, a missing persons report was filed, and by that evening, volunteers had gathered to search the surrounding fields and wooded trails. Flyers with Emily's face appeared on lampposts, in gas stations, and across social media. The question on everyone's lips was the same: where was Emily Carter? At first, investigators considered the most straightforward explanation, that Emily had been the victim of a random act of violence. She often worked night shifts, walking home alone in the dark. Perhaps she had crossed paths with a stranger. But detectives quickly realized the case wasn't so simple. Friends came forward with unsettling details. Emily had confided to her closest circle that she felt uneasy in recent weeks. She believed someone was watching her. Late at night, she had received repeated phone calls from an unknown number. Digging into her phone records, investigators uncovered dozens of late-night messages and calls, many of them lasting only seconds, as though someone were checking if she would answer. The trail led to a shocking discovery. Emily, the seemingly flawless small-town nurse, was keeping a secret of her own. She had been involved in a relationship with a married man in the community. To outsiders, her life had looked picture-perfect, but behind closed doors, things were far more complicated. When police approached the man in question, he denied everything. He claimed he and Emily were just friends, and that the rumors were exaggerated. But his alibi for the night of Emily's disappearance didn't fully hold up. For the first time, suspicion shifted away from strangers and toward those closest to her. As investigators dug deeper into Emily's personal life, the real bombshell dropped. The unknown number that had been calling Emily wasn't from the married man she had been quietly seeing. Instead, it traced back to someone even closer, her best friend's husband. The revelation stunned the town. He was a man everyone thought they knew. A family man, a devoted father, a youth baseball coach. He attended Sunday service every week with his wife and children. To Maplewood, he represented normalcy. But beneath the surface, he had been living a double life. Investigators discovered a string of messages between him and Emily that revealed a tangled web of jealousy, obsession, and secrecy. He had allegedly pressured her to keep quiet about their relationship and hinted that she would regret it if she ever exposed him. Evidence soon piled up. Neighbors reported seeing his car near Emily's home on the night she disappeared. Forensic analysis uncovered traces of his DNA in her car, evidence he couldn't explain away. The friendly, smiling man from church picnics now stood at the center of a chilling crime. The betrayal cut Maplewood to its core. This wasn't a faceless predator passing through town. This was one of their own. Despite months of searching, Emily's body was never recovered. For her family, the lack of closure was unbearable. Yet the mounting evidence, the messages, the phone calls, the DNA, was enough to take the case to trial. The courtroom was packed as the once-respected husband and father faced charges of Emily's murder. The proceedings peeled back the layers of deception, revealing how a seemingly ordinary life had hidden a dangerous obsession. Jurors listened to recordings of his threatening calls, read transcripts of his controlling texts, and saw the forensic evidence that tied him to her disappearance. The verdict was clear: guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For Maplewood, the trial was both a relief and a heartbreak. Justice had been served, but Emily's absence was a wound that never healed. Her family continued to leave a candle burning in the window each night. At the clinic where she once worked, colleagues placed a small plaque in her memory, in loving memory of Emily Carter, who cared for everyone. Every year on the anniversary of her disappearance, townspeople gather outside the clinic with candles. They share stories of Emily's laughter, her dedication, and her kindness. It is their way of keeping her memory alive in a town forever changed by betrayal. Emily Carter's story reminds us that even in the safest places, danger can lurk where we least expect it, not in the shadows of strangers, but in the lives of those we thought we knew best.